The victory at Çanakkale is the story of a monumental epic of heroism written with the sacred blood of our nation, demonstrating how a nation stood definitely against the entire world to protect its independence. It underscores that winning the war required not just numerical superiority, but more importantly, the love for the homeland and independence. This epic tale, a saga of immense valor, signifies the defiance of our noble nation against all odds. It not only changed the course of a world war, but also ignited the first spark of War of Independence. With respect and gratitude, we commemorate our heroic ancestors who bravely confronted challenges, leaving an indelible mark on history and inspiring future generations with their unwavering spirit of patriotism. In the First World War, the goal of the Allied powers was to seize the Dardanelles Strait and capture Istanbul. This would enable them to easily send military aid to their ally, Russia. Simultaneously, the occupation of Istanbul would sever the connection between Anatolia and Rumelia, hastening the Ottoman state's removal from the war. The Ottoman Empire, which had ruled over 3 continents for more than 600 years, declared with the determination to the world its commitment to non-belligerence, neutrality, and the refusal to engage in war with any country. Throughout its history, the Ottoman Empire never adopted a colonialist policy, instead pursuing a strategy aimed at keeping its affiliated nations together and embracing every region as part of its homeland. However, the colonialist ambitions for the rich mines, young population, and extensive geography in the Ottoman territories compelled the Ottoman Empire to join the war alongside Germany. Before the Battle of Gallipoli on March 18th, the British and French fleet, undefeated for 200 years, was ready in Çanakkale. The invading forces, not leaving anything to chance, arrived at Çanakkale with a massive army of 480,000 soldiers. The naval operation of the Allied powers began on February 19, 1915, and until March 13, 1915, enemy ships subjected the fortification to artillery fire, while minesweeping ships cleared paths for armored vessels as much as possible. The determined and resilient response received by the enemy forces, who believed they could force their way through the stairs, demonstrated that this task was not as easy as they thought. As a result of the naval operation, irresistible Ocean and Beauvais battleships of the Allied fleet were sunk in the deep waters of Dardanelles. The inflexible Agamemnon, Goles, and suffered severe damage and were rendered ineffective. In the battles that took place on March 18, 1915, due to the successful artillery shots of the Turkish artillery and the damage caused by the mines laid by the Nusret mineship in the strait, the Allied fleet lost a third of its combat power, leading to a severe defeat in the naval operation. The failure of the naval operation in the Gallipoli campaign shifted hopes to the land operation. On the morning of April 25th, the news arrived that the enemy had initiated the landings at multiple points, accompanied by concentrated bombardment from Septülbahir to Bolayır. On that day, A melancholic atmosphere intoxicated the historical lands of Settül Bahir, serving as one of the grand fronts of the Gallipoli campaign. Settül Bahir witnessed the unfolding of a testimony filled with poignant memories starting from the conflicts that began on March 18, 1915. Strategically positioned at the entrance of the Dardanelles on the Anatolian side, this front became involved in a heart-wrenching, sorrow amid conflicts between the Ottoman Empire and the Allied forces. The Settül Bahir front, by showcasing a resilient resistance against the enemy, scripted an epic of heroism by the Ottoman soldiers, brimming with a profound love for their homeland. Every trench and every grenade attack echoed the reverberations of the past, reminding of the pains and sacrifices of that moment. Ending in 1915, the Gallipoli campaign concluded with the victory of the Ottoman Empire at the Settül Bahir front, carrying the significance of the shed blood of the martyrs on these lands. Settül Bahir stands as the stage where an emotional resistance and a legend of patriotism etched its mark in the depths of the past. The echoes of those days still resonate in the sombre pages of history. On the Arıburnu front, the enemy, positioned on the beach ridges from 3 different directions, was unable to advance due to the Turkish resistance. Anzac losses were increasing and their positions were under intense attack. The commander of the 19th Division, Staff Colonel Mustafa Kemal, moved to Çonkbayır with the 57th Regiment and an artillery battery. Under the command of Colonel Mustafa Kemal, the Turkish forces on the Arıburnu launched a coordinated attack. In his memoirs, General Hamilton remarked, "The pregnant hills were still giving birth to Turks," highlighting the patriotic Turkish youth in the resistance. Mustafa Kemal's statement, "I am not ordering you to attack, I am ordering you to die. Until we die, other forces can take our place," courageously inscribed a saga in the golden letters in history. Anavartalar front, one of the epic land fronts of the Gallipoli campaign, began on April 25, 1915. This unique struggle was the centerpiece of the defense of the Ottoman Empire. The conflicts took place between the Ottoman Empire and the Allied powers, became legendary. The Anafartalar front was a battleground dominated by trench warfare and intense artillery bombardments. This front became synonymous with the exceptional heroism displayed by the Turkish soldiers for their homeland. The epic conflicts on the Anafartalar front played a critical role in the defense of the Gallipoli Peninsula. This strategic front of Ottoman Empire was commemorated for the legendary resistance of Turkish soldiers and became a turning point in the Gallipoli campaign. This epic struggle featured courageous assaults between the trenches, sacrifices, and the heroic saga written by the United Nations. The legend of Anafartalar Front has etched an unforgettable place in the history of the Turkish nation, serving as a tale of heroism to be told for years to come. The struggle at Anafartalar was not just a war that ended in victory, it was also an arena where people felt the highest levels of love, sacrifice, and unity. The Turkish nation, coming together after this challenging war, discovered the power of facing difficulties together. The emotional memories experienced in each trench left deep impressions in the hearts of both soldiers and their loved ones who remained behind. Our duty today is to keep this tremendous spirit alive, soaring in Çanakkale. It is to protect our unity, togetherness, and brotherhood. It is to hold fast to our national and spiritual values. It is to protect the cherished memory of our ancestors and the trust of our martyrs and veterans. It is to transfer the resurrection spirit behind the Çanakkale victory to our future generation.